Yeah, I know. You guys have probably had enough of my damn Infernity propaganda lately. Especially Doc. I can't imagine he would ever take a shine to a deck that requires you to have no hand. But this is the last Infernity video for a while, I promise. Since I don't want to be short on time, let's jump right into the deck. Keep in mind that this is only a first draft right now. The other players and I are currently trying to figure out the best methods to set up the handless one-card OTK. But once we do, all hell will break loose. Anyhow, 15 monsters. 3 Armageddon Knight. These are here to assist in setting up that handless one-card OTK, which requires, at minimum, 3 particular dark monsters in the graveyard. I still don't like Dark Grepher, even in here, since cost will lose games. Handless does not equate to cardless, guys. 3 Infernity Necromancer. It's a crucial element of the OTK, not to mention a great first turn set. Really hard to swing over. It also offers a backup plan if things aren't going your way. Synchro engine and all that, it just generates pluses. It's stupid. 3 Infernity Archfiend. This is your primary beater and search engine. Turns your Necromancers into +2s or better. Just insane in general. Also a huge part of the one-card OTK. 2 Infernity Revenger. He's the star tuner of the deck, especially since he can end up altering his own level. In really bad situations, he turns into a chump blocker, which is good too. Yet another part of the one-card OTK. 2 Infernity Mirage. Wow! I guess it would be easier to make a list of Infernity cards that aren't +1s. Anyway, thing is batshit. Leads into the one-card OTK, and if it doesn't, it's making some other obscene combo happen. 3 is too many and leads to dead draws. 1 is too few, since it's a vital element of the strategy. 2 seems good. Kinda sucks that you can't revive it from the graveyard, but that was necessary for balance. 1 Infernity Reloader. I realized that this guy is actually really good despite being tiny. He +1s every turn at no real cost. Potential burn. He's a warrior. He's level 1. Combo machine because of these stats. Definitely worth the spot. Important, I think. And then finally 1 Sangan to tie everything together. Just way too good not to run in a deck like this. He fetches all the key combo pieces. It's beautiful. 10 spells. Yes, low on the spell count, but that's for a reason. 3 Infernity Gun. Infernity Gun is the heart and soul of the deck. It lets you pitch excess monsters. It allows for the one-card OTK win conditions since you can search it off of Archfiend. It's insane. It just... wow. 2 Allure of Darkness. Obviously here to give the deck some more speed. The beauty part is that it allows you to trim excess monsters from your hand when you don't need them and they're cramping your style, since you need to be able to be handless at a moment's notice to use your effects. 1 Reinforcement of the Army, pretty self-explanatory, thins the deck down, searches for those Armanites to set up the combo. I can grab Reloader with it if I want to. It's just good. 1 for 1. Gets Mirage, gets Reloader, gets Revenger, loads the graveyard for the OTK. It's made of win, guys. Don't pass on this card. 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, staple. Ideal to use it on Royal Oppressions and Skill Drains. 1 Brain Control, staple. Helps accelerate the win. Well, unless they end up banning it, which I wouldn't care. I'd just replace it then. And lastly, 1 Zero Max. This is the Infernity Monster Reborn and Dark Hole in 1. It's a beautiful card overall because it pluses like crazy. But the problem is that you cannot win the game the turn you play it, since you can't enter your battle phase. That sucks. I would try 2 if I wasn't scared of consistency issues, but I am, so yeah. It's also a lot better if you're running that 1 copy of Infernity Destroyer. But I'm not, so yeah. You'll notice I'm not running Heavy Storm. Deck is really trap heavy. I don't think there's a place for heavy. I might end up putting it back in anyway, but for now, I'm not feeling it. On the topic of traps, 15 of them. 3 Dust Tornado, really important. It's the best spell trap removal besides MST and Heavy. It's a constant setback to your opponent every turn, since they won't be able to defend against your assault without setting multiples. It gets rid of oppressions and drains. It lets you empty your hand when you need to. I feel it just busts the deck wide open and is necessary to run 3 of. Also does not set off Starlight Road. It's wonderful. 2 Bottomless Trap Hole. Staple, get those monsters out of your face. 2 Mind Crush. Holy shit, this card is mad broken in here. Okay, so the 1 card OTK is really vulnerable to those monsters that pop out of the hand. Gores and Tragodia aren't that big a deal, since you can just Death Dragon those. But Battle Fader is a huge problem, and this gets rid of all of those cards at a moment's notice. If you don't need to kill off any of those, you can just use it to get rid of a monster in your own hand by purposely calling wrong. Really, really multi-purpose card in here. Helps a lot in simplifying the game state or advancing your own board position. It's wonderful. 2 Mind Crush. I already mentioned the 2 Mind Crush. What am I on? 2 Dark Bribe. I don't really like it, but I felt I needed more protection against generic spells and traps without a cost to myself. So, I'm giving these a chance. 1 Transmigration Prophecy recycles your mirages, your guns, while making a 1-for-1 trade against your opponent's revival card. Staple for the deck, in my opinion. 1 Solemn Judgment, staple, especially since we're so back row heavy. 1 Torrential, staple. I don't really care if my stuff dies, honestly, so fun times to be had. Trap Dust Shoot, really broken in here since it's something I can set. It's something that really disrupts my opponent. Crazy combo with Mind Crush. It's just too good not to use. 1 Starlight Road, good way to keep Heavy, Geyserus, Celestia, Icarus, etc. off your tail. Inconsistent at more than 1, I think, so 1 seems to be good. And then 1 Mirror Force, staple. I'm not running Call of the Haunted. I think it's just silly because we've got so much themed revival that is just so much better than that card. And the only other monsters it would be able to revive are Armanites or Sangans or Synchros. But those things aren't that important after they get used once. So, whatever. No call. That's pretty much the deck. The extra deck auto includes are 2 Infernity Death Dragon and 2 Stardust Dragon. After that, it's largely personal preference. But it's a good idea to include something from every other level, at least 1, since Infernities can feasibly hit every level under the sun, whenever they want to, even 4 and 9. Usually the level 8s are going to be the star of the show, though, because your OTK involves 1 card turning into 3 level 8 synchros and 1 level 6 synchro, plus maybe more. So, Death Dragon, Stardust, Colossal, Briannock. It's just utter insanity what this deck can pull off once it gets set up. There's a blinding weakness to DD Crow that I'm not really sure how to address yet. Hopefully one of those Infernity support cards that hasn't been revealed yet will give an answer to monster effects. But other than that, I think it's looking pretty solid on paper right now. It's funny because I always made it a point to never build OCG decks. But now, here I am. Because I'm so hyped up about this archetype, oh my god, that I'm willing to make my build months in advance, even before the set even hits the OCG, because I want to be prepared. I want to know what I'm getting when the time comes. Anyway, I guess that's about all for this deck profile. Thanks for watching.